Welcome back to Tao Tuesday. Today we're only covering 2 verses. We are talking a lot about death actually in this one. Talking about my mom dying, we're talking about death and reflecting upon death. We're talking about the softest of all things, kindness and forgiveness. It's a very good episode. It's a very, what's the word for it? Like soft episode. There we go. It's a soft episode. So enjoy. The violent do not die a natural death. That is my fundamental teaching. Man, what a phrase, right? What a phrase. The violent do not die a natural death. I think a way of translating this would be to say you die the way you live. So if you are living violently, well then you're probably not gonna die naturally. If you are living in a continuous surrender and love poem to life, well then your death will be a very beautiful surrender and love poem to life and a love poem to death. Personally, I have it like this. I don't know how many people really share my excitement for this, but the thing I'm most excited about in life is dying. I am so incredibly excited about dying. It is the thing. Like, it's the Christmas of Christmas for me. I'm so very excited about it because it's such a beautiful adventure, such a beautiful surrendering. Like, here you actually have the opportunity to let go of everything. To really, because you have no other choice. You can hang on if you want, but that's just causing you suffering. But to really let go of everything. And I'm often thinking about my mom. If you don't know, my mom died 10 years ago. And she got very, very sick, and me and my little brother was just children, of course. So for her, dying and saying goodbye there was probably quite hard for her. She was not conscious with us for the last couple of times, but I know she was conscious. I'm just thinking about and reflecting upon, like, how was that for her? Because leaving your children when your children are just like 17 and 15 must be the hardest thing to do in life as a mother. So how was her process? I'm often thinking about that. How was her process? Did she do it? Did she leave in peace? I really hope that she did. I really hope that she did. And I have it like this. I really trust her. I also trust her. I trust that she left in peace. So yeah, the violent do not die a natural death. And she was not violent. She was very kind. And the whole experience of her passing away was very beautiful, with all of the family around her all of the time. A beautiful experience. It really was. So, 42nd verse. Let's get started. The Tao gave birth to one gave birth to two gave birth to three, and three begat the 10,000 things. The 10,000 things carry yin and embrace yang. They achieve harmony by combining these forces. People suffer at the thought of being without parents, without food, or without worth. Yet, this is the very way that kings and lords once described themselves. For one gains by losing, and loses by gaining. What other taught I teach. The violent do not die a natural death. That is my fundamental teaching. Yeah, look at that. People suffer at the thought of being without parents. I can just share that from personal experience. Yes, I do suffer from the thought and from the experience of that. But why do we do that? What is that suffering? For one gains by losing and loses by gaining. That suffering is the attachment of the mind, because I'm still now. Yeah, so that's like from my knowledge of what I have studied. Is it, however, really how it feels when I'm sitting in it? Because my suffering from losing my mom, how does that feel? Does that feel like an attachment of the mind? It most certainly does not. That feels like a loss of the heart. That's what that feels like. For one gains by losing. I don't know if this is meant to be understood in this way. It's just what's coming up right now. I really did gain a lot by losing my mom. I gained a lot of life experience, and I was not very experienced in life at that time. No one is at 17. I gained a lot of life experience, and I gained a lot of knowledge that for other people at my age who does not have, simply because that loss was so emotionally devastating, and it surely did bring a lot of presence. Would I don't know, if I were to be able to go back and change it, I would not do it. That's how I feel like. I would not do it. I still certainly feel a lot of pain, yeah, right now, for example, of not seeing my mom, not being with my mom, not having my mom. Like it's still painful. But that's also beautiful, right? Because all of that pain is all of that love. If I could go back, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because more than anything, I trust in the Lord. I trust in the Tao, and all things happens for a very perfect and beautiful reason. And I'm trusting in that. I'm trusting in that perfect and beautiful reason, and I'm trusting that, yeah, where it's going, and all of this, life is always unfolding very beautifully and very perfectly. And yeah, would not go back and change it, even if I could. Yeah, the 10,000 things carry yin and embrace yang. Now, if you do not know which one is yin and which one is yang, because that's very confusing. Yin is the white and yang is the black. So when you have the white, then there's the black within the white, and that's yang within yin, and vice versa. You know, when you have the white and the black, that's yin and yang. Just so you know, and a way to always remember this: which one is masculine, which one is feminine. This is how I learned it. So let's take the masculine organ. Let's take the penis. The penis is yin. It's the masculine energy. And how is that? It's like this, right? It's like this. It's like it's strong. It's up. It's bright. It's like, here I am. And what is it doing? It's giving. It's like it's giving, you know. And that is the seed of. That is the, I don't know, fruit, seed. That is what is needed for life. And then we have the feminine, and then let's look at the woman, the organ of the woman. Like it's a beautiful vagina, and it goes in, and it's receiving, and in there it's dark. You can't see what's inside of the vagina. It's dark, it's mystical, and it's receiving the giver of life, and in her is the eggs, which is then creating life, and all of life is created within the feminine. Within the darkness, we cannot see the child. It is within the darkness, right? So the yin is the sun and yang is Mother Earth. Yin is the sun and yang is the stars. And yang is Luciendo, not the stars, Luna, the moon. Yin is the sun and yang is the moon. And the moon does not shine by herself, right? The moon shines from the light of the sun. The moon shines from the light of the sun. Beautiful, right? That's how I learned it. That's how I always remember it. And it also says a lot of things. So here we have it. So the 10,000 things carry yin. So they are, because yin is thingness, yang is nothingness. So they carry yin, they carry the thingness, what they are. And they embrace yang, they embrace nothingness. So we have this dance in between thingness, the table, all of this, and nothingness, which is all of the space in between, right? And everything is divided perfectly harmony like this. People suffer at the thought of being without parents, without food, or without worth. But our very soul, our very nature, the very nature of our nature, that which we are, is not confined by any of this. The soul is free from all of this. It doesn't taste, it doesn't feel. The soul is never suffering. That's also an important thing to remember in all of this suffering in life. The soul is never suffering. The soul cannot touch, the soul cannot feel. The soul is that which is witnessing all of the sensations that we're receiving in life. Witnessing the whole experience, the whole journey. Life is such a journey, man. Life just goes up and down. Life is yin embracing yang, right? Like everything is being taught and being shared in such a beautiful way in life. Trusting in the Tao is definitely most incredible thing we can ever do for ourselves, because it really helps us to open our hearts up to life. Even though we go through suffering, and we go through so much suffering, I'm definitely sure that you have gone through your fair share of suffering. I have definitely gone through my fair share of suffering, and more is to come. And I will always, always embrace it. What others teach, I teach. The violent do not die a natural death. That is my fundamental teaching. The violent do not die a natural death. As we talked about a little earlier, we die the way we live. I think that's very beautiful. And it's very beautiful to remember. It's very beautiful to remember that we are going to die. And we now only have this life, yes, and then we get reincarnated, right? It's very beautiful to remember that we are going to die, and really basing our actions on it. Am I proud of the man I am today? Because I can die tomorrow. What kind of message am I giving to the world right now? What's my message to the world? I think reflecting about death and about us dying is actually very healthy. I don't know if this is away from this verse that we're going through, but this is really just what is coming right now. So that's what I'm expressing. Yeah. For one gains by losing and loses by gaining. If I have a lot of stuff, and I say a lot of stuff is mine, attached to being a lot of stuff, you know, attached to fame, attached to things, or I have a beautiful car, I have a beautiful house, well then you loses by gaining, because you're losing that consciousness of the Tao, because you're clinging to worldly desire, you're clinging to worldly possessions, so you're losing. But by losing, you are gaining, because you are letting go, and your mind is becoming more free, and you are becoming more free. All of this is also written in like our destiny is to return to the Tao. The meaning of life is to return to the Tao. Definitely. And it is also, we are not doing it for the Tao, we are doing it for ourselves. I remember I was with a ceremony with my master. He's from India, so he's a Hindu. Then we did an offering to this certain Hindu god, I don't remember who. And he explained very beautifully. He was like, so we are doing an offering right now. But it's very important to know and to understand that the gods do not need anything from us. They do not need anything from us. They do not need our praises. They do not need our love. They do not need our food. They do not need our offering, our sacrifice. We are not doing it for them. We are doing it for ourselves. And he just explained it in such a beautiful way, that sacrifice, everything we're giving to the Tao, everything we're giving to life, we're actually also giving for ourselves. Because life do not need anything. Let's continue, shall we? 43rd verse. I like this verse. This verse is very beautiful. I really like this verse. Let's go. The softest of all things overrides the hardest of all things. That without substance enters where there is no space. Hence, I know the value of non-action. Teaching without words, performing without actions. Few in the world can grasp it. That is the Master's way. Rare indeed are those who obtain the bounty of this world. Man, ain't that very, very beautiful? I am thinking about the way of water in this beautiful verse, of course. The softest of all things overrides the hardest of all things. That without substance enter where there is no space. Look at that. That's just like water. It's just like water, right? Water can enter there where there is no space. You could take a cup and you can fill the cup up with anything until there's no space. There can literally be nothing more in the cup. And then you put water, and water can flow where there's no space. And then the cup is full. I find that. Be like water. You know, that's always the teachings. Be like water. The way of water is the way like the Tao, the 8th verse. Let me find it very quick. I really love that verse. I think until now that's my favorite one. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It flows to low places, loathed by all men. Therefore, it is like the Tao. Right? Be like water. One thing I'm also thinking about with this, the softest of all things override the hardest of all things. that without substance enter where there is no space. Hence, I know the value of non-action. All of this is reminding me so hard of kindness. Because what changes a man's life? It's a good question. What changes a man's life? If we have a man whose heart is hard like a rock because of his whole life having to protect himself, from life, so his heart is hard as a rock, what is the thing that changes that man's life? Is it to be punished again, being told he's not good enough, or people not being satisfied of who he is? Or is it kindness? That soft, beautiful kindness that softens any man's heart. And forgiveness. Which one is it? So if I hurt someone and I'm like, there's a video. It's actually what I'm thinking about right now. There's a video about a man who killed a lot of young people. And then they're like in the court and the parents are speaking up one by one. And they're all saying that they hope that he decide. They are all saying that they hope that he die a horrible death. They hope that he suffer, and they hope that he rot inside of prison. And he's just sitting there, looking at them he's just sitting there. Then an old man comes up and he says, "You really tested my faith. You really made it hard for me to follow my God, but I forgive you." He, as the only one, gave forgiveness to the killer of his daughter. And the killer just starts crying. He just cries and cries and cries and cries. The softest of all things overrides the hardest of all things. That without substance enter where there's no space. Hence, I know the value of non-action. Non-action. What is non-action? Non-action, I believe, I don't know if I have experience of non-action, but at the same time, I think I do. I think we all have. What is non-action? Non-action is when stuff is being done, but we are not doing it. It's just the way of things. And when I'm thinking about kindness, this is what I'm thinking about. When I am thinking about, we are helping here every weekend in the restaurant, because there's a lot of people. And I am always making fun. I'm always having fun. And in return, it's just nice being there. We are having fun. We are enjoying. And then it's so me making jokes and making people laugh, which is such a huge part of my nature. Is that an action I'm doing? Well, yes, I am doing it, but at the same time, it's just who I am. So I'm not doing it. It's something that is being done from my nature. It's something that is shining through from my nature. And in return, it brings laughter. And it is an act of kindness. It is an act of service. I think that humor is an act of kindness. Humor is an act of service. And I always make fun of my fiance. I always make fun of her because I find it fun. And I always make fun of myself because I do find it fun. When I am talking about my past, I am laughing. I was the most arrogant, ignorant piece of shit. Not piece of shit. I was never bad in anything like that. But I was just so arrogant and so stupid and so prideful. And I cannot help but just to laugh very lovingly at me. And is that certainly is a non-action, because it comes from that way of being. It's a loving way of being, and I don't see it as action. So I think, but then he's doing it with everything, Then everything is a non-action because you are never doing. You are identifying with the Tao, and everything is just being expressed from that perfect place. Not something I have experience with. Teaching without words, performing without action. Few in the world can grasp it. That is the master's way. Rare indeed are those who obtain the bounty of this world. Yeah, Rare indeed. How many people are we in this world, and how many people are we who have obtained the bounty of this world, our birthright of this world? I don't know, but not many. But not many. But do you want to be the one? Do you want to obtain this? Do you want to go all the way to the top of the mountain and finally return to that place of non-duality, that place of non-being, the place of nirvana, the place of heaven? Do you want to do that? Certainly I want to. Certainly. I am dedicating everything for this. And how about you? Are you dedicating everything like this? Do you want this? Is this your calling? To obtain the bounty of the world, to live in wisdom, to live in harmony with the Tao? Whatever you are desiring, I am certainly praying for your life and wishing you blessings, wishing you a beautiful life. We certainly went all the way here. We talked a lot about a lot of things. Talked a lot about my mom, and talked a lot about death and about kindness. And yeah, it was a short episode, but I really enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed. Have a beautiful day. Sé feliz. Be happy.